Hi, Chris Siamof with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And today, we're going to talk about a realtor's guide to buying in Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin. Why would you want to move to Wisconsin? Wisconsin's a great community to live in. It's cheaper than the rest of the country. We're a small state relatively. We have 6 million people. Our biggest city is under 1 million, but there's still lots of things to do. There's 4 distinct seasons. They got 15,000 lakes to explore. So let's talk more about why you want to move to Wisconsin and how I can help you do that. One of the first things that you consider when buying a house is get pre-approved. Work with a local lender. I can't emphasize that enough. If you're a first-time home buyer, for instance, in the state of Wisconsin, WHEDA has a better rate, and you may qualify for that. So work with your local lender. Take that class. Save yourself some money in the short term. Hey, rates are starting to stabilize a little bit. We're still cheaper than the rest of the country. So get a pre-approval. Consider how much home you really can afford. Realize that, there's going to be incidental expenses. You have property taxes. You have homeowners insurance. You may have, unforeseen expenses that first year. So be sure to budget for them. Your furnace may go out that first year. Your hot water heater. You're buying a new home. Maybe you didn't consider that you have to put the driveway in, or you have to buy a stove and refrigerator, or landscaping, So consider all those options when you're buying a home and get pre-approved. And to get pre-approved, you're going to have to talk to a lender. You're going to have to bring a couple years taxes. You're going to have to bring pay stubs. You're going to have to show any 401ks. You're going to have to show any savings, any of your debt. And they're going to pre-approve you based on what they think you can afford. And they will outline different programs, whether that would be FHA, where you get in for 3 to 5% down, WHEDA for a first-time home buyer, rural housing loans, conventional, fixed rate, variable rates, whether you want to get into a multifamily, live on one side and take advantage of that investment opportunity. So talk to a lender. They'll tell you what your closing costs are going to be, what your effective rate of return is. Housing is going up, so don't hesitate to buy a home because housing has gone up over 50% in this state in the last 5 years. So don't miss out just because the rates have gone up a little bit. Just recently, they've come down to just a little over 7. And if you're in a WHEDA, first-time home buyer, you're below 7. So talk to a qualified local lender, get prepared, and then call a realtor. And when you call a realtor, do a face-to-face. Sit down and go over those forms, the offer to purchase, all the disclosures, whether you want them to represent you as a buyer's agent. Determine what you can live without. Maybe buy below your means initially just to get into a home. And inventory is still tight, so it's important to work with a seasoned realtor. And the reason inventory is so tight is because there were 14 years of underbuilding, and you got 80% of the homeowners out there that have a mortgage of 5% or less, and 63% of the homes in this country have a mortgage. So somebody might be holding on to that home and not selling it because they don't want to, buy a new home and have a mortgage of 7 or up. So, but the good news is, as I said, homes have gone up over 50% in the state of Wisconsin in the last 5 years. And on average in the United States, people have $247,000 in equity. The other good news is, in most parts of the state, you can buy a home for $300,000, whereas in the rest of the United States, you're going to spend at least $400,000 or more. So that is why you should consider Wisconsin. So now you got your pre-approval. Now you've talked to a realtor. Then you go out and do the fun part. You look at a house. And then when you write that offer, that realtor is going to negotiate for you. And some of the things she's going to negotiate is how much earnest money, closing dates, inspections, appraisals. Until recently, we didn't see home inspections, but home inspections are making a comeback. And home inspections are an important way for you to get to know your house. It's about a 3-hour ordeal and it costs you under $400, and they go over the age of the roof, the age of the furnace, point out any safety concerns, any major defects. It's a great way for you to get to know the house. An appraisal is done to protect your money and the bank's money. That is something we've been doing appraisal gaps, where basically we were writing over the purchase price, and then if the house didn't appraise, then we were dealing with that. So you have to work with a seasoned realtor to decide, whether you want an appraisal gap or whether you're just willing to pay what it's listed for. So those are all important considerations. And then, so you get through the home inspection, you get through the appraisal, yay, you buy the home. Then you close on the home, and then, you have to switch over utilities, insurance providers, get to know your neighbors, maybe you have to go out and buy that snowblower or that lawnmower to take care of the yard. So we talked about buying in Wisconsin. Why would you choose to live in Wisconsin? Well, Wisconsin is a state with Midwestern values and friendly people, a strong sense of community. It's more affordable. You have access to great health care. Your commute to work could be 10 minutes. If you work from home, 0. There's lower unemployment rate. We have 8 blue ribbon schools in this state. Things to do every season of the year. Yes, we have winter, but you can enjoy winter. You can go snowmobiling, you can go skiing, you can go ice skating, and you can escape it for 3 months a year and go south if you want to and come back and enjoy spectacular springs and summers and falls. So why not move to Wisconsin? Great sense of community, healthcare, great schools. It's cheaper to live here than a lot of the rest of the country. An average home is $300,000 as opposed to over $400,000. So another consideration in moving to Wisconsin is whether you want to be in a metropolitan community or whether you want to be in a rural community. Usually when we think of Wisconsin, we divide it into 4 quadrants. I live in Northeast Wisconsin, so Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, and the communities in between. The biggest community would be Green Bay, then probably Appleton. If you wanted to live up north where a lot of people vacation, those communities would be like Chippewa Falls, Duluth, Superior. Chippewa Falls is a community of about 15,000 people. Then you start talking the southwest quadrant of the state, and you're talking Madison, Beaver Dam, La Crosse, and other communities in that direction. And if you're looking at the southeast, you're looking at Milwaukee, Brown Deer, Whitefish Bay, all those communities, Racine, Beloit. So that's what to consider. Do you want to live in a metropolitan area? And technically, our biggest communities are Milwaukee with 900,000 and Madison proper is 270,000. Of course, you have all those surrounding communities. And Milwaukee in the last decade has grown like 16%. And Dane County, Madison, and the surrounding communities have grown a lot too. So please consider moving to Wisconsin and reach out to a realtor. And if I can't help you in your area, I know a lot of realtors in Wisconsin. I'd be happy to connect you with a realtor in your area if you want to move to Wisconsin. Till next time, be sure to check out Northeast Wisconsin Homes and give me some ideas for topics. Maybe we'll come to your community next.